The Salad, fun, informative, interactive radio. La Ensalada, la radio divertida, informativa e interactiva.
Hello everybody and welcome to The Salad. Let's begin the program with a little bit of music, shall we? Sounds good, the guitar, because today we have the salad blues to get us in the mood. I got the salad blues, baby, hoo-hoo. I got the salad blues. I got the salad blues, baby, hoo-hoo. I got the salad blues. 1, 2, 3. I got the salad blues, baby, hoo-hoo. Got the salad blues. I got the salad blues, baby, hoo-hoo. Got the salad blues. I got the salad blues, baby, and I don't know what to do. I said 1, got the salad, 2, got the blues, 3 to get ready, got holes in my shoes. I got the salad blues, baby, hoo-hoo. Got the salad blues. I got the salad blues, baby, hoo-hoo. Got the salad blues. I got the salad blues, baby, and I don't know what to do. I got the salad blues, baby, and I don't know what to do. I got the salad blues, baby, and I don't know what to do. Now it's time for a little bit of kazoo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome to The Salad. So what's on the program today? We shall begin the salad with salad news bits, our customary salad news bits from around the world. Yes, indeed. Now, we also have Phone the World. We shall be phoning a bar today. Why not? Yes, it's a bar in Benidorm. That's right, in Benidorm, on the Mediterranean coast of Spain. And because now, well, summertime is almost upon us. We're in June. The summer season is coming. So we'll be phoning a pub called the Sea View to find out, what activities they have planned for the summer season. Yes, because, well, they're all British in the pub. It's a British-owned pub. Yes, the owner's name is Roger. So we'll be calling Roger, having a chat with him, and see what he has to say about the activities they have to make things interesting, to liven up the Benidorm nights. And we also have a colloquial moment on the program. Now, today we shall be teaching you a couple of expressions to help you speak like a native. So some phonetic sounds linked to expressions to make you speak like a native. And to end the program today, we have the interview. Mick Jagger will be here live. He's a Rolling Stone. He'll be here live like a Rolling Stone. We'll be having a chat with Mick to see what he's been doing recently. And he'll be reading some poetry for us. Because not everyone knows that Mick Jagger, he's a poet. I mean, you can hear it in the words that he writes. But he also loves poetry. He's a poetry aficionado. Yes, we'll be having a chat with him and he'll be reciting some poetry for you right here on your salad. So, salad listeners, that's what we have lined up for you today. So in the meantime, it's time for...
Salad News Bits.
Hello and welcome to Salad News Bits, news from around the world. Now today we have our correspondents in the UK, Simon Hallow, correspondent, and in the US, Hal Leonard. So we have some stories for you. Our first story comes from the UK. Are you ready for the headline, titular? A gorilla learns to drive a car. A gorilla learns to drive a car. We're going to go over live to the UK and speak to our correspondent there, Simon Hallow, who I believe is at Silverstone. Simon, can you hear me?
Hello, Dave. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, clear as a bell. Crystal clear, I'm hearing you now. Now, this story, a gorilla learns to drive a car. This is incredible.
Absolutely, and I'm here at Silverstone now, and I've witnessed this live today.
Now, what can you tell us about this?
Well, I can tell you that the gorilla's name is Willy. That's right, it's Willy the gorilla. And he's been basically trained to drive a car. Now, it's an experiment, obviously.
Now, how did Willy get involved in this experiment?
Well, basically, scientists have been working with him for many years, actually, since he was born. I believe he's now 5 years old. And since he was born, they've been teaching him how to do all kinds of things that adults would do, and lots of games, quizzes, and sign language also, how to communicate. And recently, they've been teaching him how to drive.
But that's quite complicated, isn't it, to drive a car? You've got all the gears involved and the pedals. You've got the clutch, the brake, the accelerator.
Well, I do have to say it's actually an automatic car, because I think gears would be a lot more difficult. So an automatic is much easier to drive, and he's driven around one lap of Silverstone, obviously in quite a slow time and with one or two incidents, but he actually made it all the way to the finish line. So yes, a gorilla has completed a lap here at Silverstone.
Now, obviously, this is a very interesting scientific experiment. What are they hoping to achieve with this kind of experiment?
Well, I believe, because, these particular scientists, they've been working with animals and especially gorillas for years. And what they've managed to achieve has been incredible, especially with sign language. They can have all kinds of intelligent conversations. And they're seeing how far they can take it, how far they can push the limits.
Hasta dónde pueden llegar? How far they can push the limits. So that's amazing. If a gorilla's driving a car, it's, he may have some freedom. It's Free Willy, because the gorilla's called Willy.
Absolutely, and I must say that there was a large crowd here today, because this had been advertised, I believe, in local newspapers, and it's been on the news. So, yes, large crowds here came all the way to Silverstone. Well, some people from the local area, but other people have come from foreign countries just to see Willy driving around Silverstone circuit. So, really incredible and really fantastic, and they're very pleased with what they've been able to achieve here. Okay, David, it's back to the studio. See you later.
Thank you very much, Simon Hallow. So a gorilla learns to drive a car and completes one lap of Silverstone. So una vuelta, no, you would say a lap of Silverstone. That's really amazing, because gorillas are extremely intelligent creatures. Okay, more news from around the world. Our next headline: a lottery winner pays off his neighbor's mortgages. So to pay off is liquidar. Yes, if you pay off your mortgage, you liquidar your mortgage, hipoteca. Okay, so a lottery winner pays off his neighbor's mortgages. Now, this is incredible. This is a really fantastic story. Okay, so let's go back live. It's again over to Simon Hallow in the UK. Simon, are you there?
Yes, Dave, I'm here. I'm still here at Silverstone. Yes, I have this news for you. Another amazing story. Lots of news happening today. Yes, well, Phil Pearce, he won the National Lottery recently, a couple of months ago. And I believe, he wasn't entirely sure what to do with the money. So obviously the first thing he did was he paid off his mortgage. And he lives in a small cul-de-sac on the outskirts of Birmingham, and well, I suppose, his neighbours obviously congratulated him, and he decided that not only would he pay off his own mortgage, but he would also pay off their mortgages too.
Now, that's extremely generous, I suppose, but I mean, if you've won the lottery and you've got millions and millions of pounds, how many millions did he have?
Yes, I believe it was 18 million that he won, so I suppose, it's a drop in the ocean, really, for him, but a really generous thing to do.
Now, I mean, how can you thank somebody who decides to pay off your mortgage? And maybe some people might say no if you offer to do it, because some people are quite proud, orgulloso, and they wouldn't necessarily take money from a neighbour to pay off the mortgage.
Well, actually, he didn't want to go about it the wrong way, and he understood that, some people might almost be offended. So I think what they had was they had a street party, first of all, that he organised, he was paying for it, obviously. He invited the street, he had a barbecue in his garden and provided free drinks, and he made a speech. And that's when he came up with the idea, and he offered to pay off their mortgages. And in the end, some people, well, I suppose at the beginning some people weren't entirely sure. But later on they all agreed, because, it's not always, what you say, it's how you say something. So he managed to convince the ones who weren't necessarily willing at first. And in the end, everybody agreed. So they're all living mortgage-free now. And I think in this time, in these times of crisis, people are extremely grateful for what he's done.
I mean, that can really change somebody's life if you go from having a mortgage, and also interest rates are going up, to having no mortgage at all. So you can live worry-free. Well, not necessarily worry-free, but it's one less thing to worry about. So that's a beautiful thing to do for fellow human beings. Okay.
Okay, Dave. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you very much, Simon Hallow. More news from around the world. Now, here's a follow-up story. For those of you who listened to the last edition of The Salad, we have another story for you here. You may remember the story of the banana. Do you remember the story of the banana? Yes, which was a banana that tastes like a peach, melocotón. This is something that's being created by scientists in a laboratory. Yes, it was the banana, a banana that tastes like a peach. But now we have a new fruity invention. Yes, a new fruity invention. Let's go over live to Hal Leonard, our US correspondent in New York, and see what he has to say about this particular news item. Hal, can you hear me? Hal, are you there?
Oh, hi, Dave. Yeah, there's a little slight delay on the line, but yeah, I can hear you. How you doing?
Doing very well indeed. Now, this is a follow-up story to the last time you were on the program. You told us about the banana, which is a cross between a peach and a banana. And now there's a new fruit, not necessarily on the market, but a new fruit has been created, has been invented. Yes, by the same laboratory that brought us the banana. Now, what is this new fruit?
Well, Dave, I can tell you it's called the strapple.
A strapple. Okay, a strapple.
Now, if it's called a strapple, can you guess what it's made of?
Can I guess what it's made of? It's called a strapple. Well, obviously it's some kind of an apple. So it's a cross between an apple and a strawberry. A strapple. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Dave. It's a cross, between a strawberry and an apple.
And does it look like a strawberry or does it look like an apple? And does it taste like an apple or a strawberry?
Well, that's an interesting question. It looks exactly like an apple.
So it's a fruit that looks like an apple, but it tastes like a strawberry.
That's exactly right. And this is becoming quite common now, people experimenting with fruits and cultivating these in a laboratory situation to find out if these things are marketable.
Well, do we think this is marketable? What do you think, listeners? Would you buy a strapple, a cross between a strawberry and an apple? I'm not sure if I would. I don't think I would. But still, that's not to say there's not a market for it. What do you think, Hal? What's the market for these kind of fruits?
Well, it's to make fruit kind of more appealing, especially to the younger generation. Nowadays it's more difficult to get kids to eat fruit. So there's a lot of obesity, especially among, young children, so that's on the rise. So, I think governments and, fruit companies are looking for ways that they can, improve the eating habits of young children, and certainly that's one of the target markets would be to kids, And a lot of kids would eat an apple, but not necessarily a bunch of strawberries, So, that's kind of the idea that, you might have to take strawberries to school. It's a little bit more messy, you put it in a Tupperware or something like that. But in this case, it's a typical thing that sandwiches in an apple. But this way the apple tastes like strawberries, which most kids love that taste, But a lot of the time it might be in, some kind of sweets or a strawberry milkshake. This way they've got the taste of the strawberry in the apple. So, they think it might take off. It might be successful.
That's interesting. It's true that it seems to be more difficult to get kids to eat fruit these days. So that's an interesting idea, a different way to market fruit. Giving it kind of funky flavors. It's an apple, but it tastes like a strawberry. It's a banana, but it tastes like peach. Whatever works. Ultimately, if kids are eating more fruit, or if we're all eating more fruit, that's better for us. Wouldn't you say?
Well, absolutely. You need to have, I don't know, if it's 3 or 4 pieces of fruit a day, most doctors say. So, I've got one here. I'm going to try it here live on the program.
So we have Hal Leonard trying a strapple, which is a cross between an apple and a strawberry, live here on the program. Okay, over to you, Hal. Tell us what you think.
Well, I've got it here in my hand, and I'm going to have a bite right now and see what it tastes like. Well, that's really weird, I have to say.
So weird is strange. Raro, no? Extraño, it's strange. I imagine it would be. Explain what you're feeling right now.
Well, it's got the crunchy consistency of an apple. But the taste is exactly the same as a strawberry. But, the weird thing is the consistency is exactly the same as an apple, and the taste the same as the strawberry. It's so strange because that's not what you're expecting, because how many apples have you eaten in your life, would you say, Dave?
How many apples? Well, thousands, probably.
So, you're so used to eating apples, but when you bite into it and you taste strawberries, it's a new sensation. So, I think that could be really interesting. Certainly, it's a novelty for people, Also, I think it would be good to play tricks on people.
To play tricks. Hacer una broma. To play tricks on people, for example?
Well, if you offer an apple to your children, say, hey, take this apple to school. They don't know that it's a strapple. They think it's an apple because it looks exactly the same. They take a bite of it. It tastes exactly like strawberries. They're going to freak out.
Van a flipar. They're going to freak out. I guess they are. Or, for example, colleagues at work. You take in some apples and say, oh, I just got back from, my in-laws' village. And look, they have all these apples. I thought I'd hand them out at work so people bite into them just to see their face. Will be extremely amusing indeed. Extremely funny.
That's right. So, I think eventually there will be a market for these things. But, I suppose people at first, they're reluctant to buy, like, crossover fruit. But I think we'll see it becoming more and more common in the near future.
In un futuro próximo, in the near future, they will be more common and possibly in a supermarket near you.
Okay, Dave, that's the news from here. Back to the studio.
Okay, thank you very much. Hal Leonard. So a strapple, a cross between a strawberry and an apple. More news from around the world. Beach terraces catching on. So for those of you who listened to the last edition of The Salad, it's another follow-up news item. Because you'll remember that there was a guy in New York who, due to the crisis, couldn't afford to go on holiday. So what he did was he bought a load of bags of sand, and out on his terrace, he created a beach. He made his own little beach bar. He had the sand there. He had a little blow-up swimming pool. And, a little umbrella. He had a shade there, a parasol, all that kind of stuff, And it's catching on, So he just stayed in his house for 2 weeks, took 2 weeks off work, stayed at home on his beach terrace. It's catching on. Now, if something catches on, it's like a trend, una tendencia, that becomes extremely popular. It catches on. Something becomes popular. Now it's catching on, and we've seen copycats, not only in New York, but in different cities. And let's go back over to Hal Leonard, live in New York. Hal, what can you tell us about this?
Well, I can tell you, this is really catching on. We're seeing this all over New York. There are whole communities, who can't afford to go on holidays. So some of these roof terraces, of which there are quite a few in New York, they're buying in bags of sand and creating their own beach and having like a beach party without leaving their building, just going upstairs. No getting on a plane. It's much cheaper, obviously, and having a barbecue and, having a holiday at home. Taking a week off work or 2 weeks at work, without leaving your house. So, it's becoming much more common. Now, we have seen this also. This was on YouTube and on all the social networks, and it's catching on. People have been doing this, over in Europe, in London, I think in France, in Japan. So this is becoming more and more popular. I think we'll be seeing more of this in the upcoming days because, it's normal. In times of crisis, people don't have the money to go on holiday. So I suppose you could say, would you say, Dave, that a holiday is a luxury item?
Would I say that a holiday is a luxury item? Yes, I would. I would do because, if you haven't got the money to go on holiday, obviously you could borrow it, but it's dangerous borrowing money for a luxury item, I would say. So, I think that's a good option, if you can't afford to go on holiday. Yes, why not create your own beach at home? Just order in some bags of sand and make your own beach. A beach terrace.
Well, that's exactly what's been going on, and even the sand manufacturing companies they've caught on to this, they've caught wind of what's been happening, and they've decided to try and market the sand in that kind of a way as well. So I've seen a couple of things on the internet, selling bags of sand, and, even the company can come round and they can install the beach for you,
Ah, so almost a bit like a landscaper. They'll just come and they'll create your own little beach. That's not a bad idea, but obviously it's quite easy. You just open some bags of sand and throw it out on your patio.
Yeah, but I think we'll see, this becoming more and more extravagant, It started simply, but people will be create like an art form, and maybe have competitions between, who's got the best beach. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I can see that happening, but that's a great idea, I shall be going away, However, if I didn't have any money to go away, I would consider doing that. Why not? Enjoying yourself at home. You've got the comforts of home, but, the feel of a holiday. That sounds great to me.
Well, certainly it's an option, and over here in the U.S., with all the crisis and stuff, many people are turning to alternative holidays. The main thing is to relax, unwind, and get rid of some of your tension. So just take it easy. Back to you, Dave, in the studio.
Thank you very much, Hal Leonard. Okay, Salad listeners, those have been our news bits for today. Now then, Salad listeners, coming up after the break, we have Phone the World. We'll be calling the Seaview Pub in Benidorm to find out what they have lined up for the summer season. We have Colloquial Moment as well. We shall be teaching you how to speak like a native. We'll have to go for a short break. We'll be right back. You're listening to The Salad.
The Salad.